Hey, everybody. Hope your week went well. It's been 1 week, I think, since I've got on here and said something. It's last Wednesday. Anyways, hope things are going okay overall with each of you. And anyways, I've had a good week. Lots have happened. I did watch America's Got Talent, and congratulations. A singer won, Richard. Can't remember his last name already. I'm bad that way. And Don't Stop Believing. But that was good. And also, I keep up with The Voice. I may not get to see it the evenings of, but we keep it up. And what a good season they're going to have and are having. The coaches are doing great. And who knew Michael Bublé was such a liar, you know? No, they're making it funny and educational. And the singers, you hear some good authentic singers rolling through there. I was impressed. I like it. And I like what they did. I even like what they did at the beginning of it this week. That was cool. And, there's a lot of reasons things are broader in my thinking, obviously, if you know anything about me or my story. But anyways, we only know what we know. Put that in a song. And so, do I agree with an atheist? Obviously, because most of them only go by what we know. It's the here and now, and we only know what we know. So anything that really gets above that, all the people trying to prove this or that about the God they think that they believe in. And but we only know what we know. So obviously, why would I have any problem with an atheist? Or, not saying I believe that way, I have actually a faith in something, but I know the difference of cumulatively where that credence level sets, and maybe with more knowledge than I used to hold before. And which makes the way I believe fit with all major religions to their core. Even the Christian one, if it were allegorically explained and taught as it was intended, if they would have kept the rest of the Bible writings in there. I've said that before, but it's worth saying again sometimes. So, I mentioned that I have a faith, and Jesus also talked of, you're the light of the world. And he talked about unity, and that we're in union with one another and in union with his source, creation. And he tried to separate from that. All these other religions warned that ahead of time that there would be a God who, really an archetype with a lot of sub-archetypes, but a God made up, a false God who would want glory for himself, who would want worship for himself, and to control others and guide them down a way that it's technically devilish, but it's so clever, or you feel you have to do it, that gets the world confused of what's right and wrong. Is it up? No. Anyways, aside from the harmful type, I can accept about all beliefs, even those beliefs, if you're not harming others or controlling their rights and trying to make laws of the land be a part of something that many know that it's actually made up. So it always warrants to look into things. I think back to, there's a song that comes to my mind. You've got to stand for something, or you'll fall for anything. All right, so, imagine X amount of years back, Preacher Jeb convinced you because that's the way he was taught at old time. And that's where you stay. We just kept that cap on. That's never advanced. There's a gnat. A little spy. Get away. But if you've felt that way or you resonate with that song, chances are you have already fell for something because you stood for something that you took a belief, because we only know what we know, and you capped it as we know. I know. It's called faith, and I know, and I can tell others they better know. And make them live that way, because everyone else is a sinner, Satanist, or whatever you want to say. So, well, how can I then, some might ask or wonder, well, how do you listen to card readers and stuff? And I still barely understand that. I care to an extent. I'll never be a card reader myself. However, if someone's to hold, or they say during one of these that, oh, your Archangel Michael says this or that, I don't know their belief. I don't know if they really believe how they believe about Archangel Michael. Is he up there sending them something? I don't know. Here's where I take that, because and here's where an atheist could take that, because we only know what we know. Archangel Michael is the same archetype to me as Christ would be, or Lucifer. Lucifer is a light bearer, a light bringer. It's an equal to Jesus. Satan's different. The devil, gets different things. Still, we're talking of archetypal trainings, mindsets that hold power in people. It creates wiring. It creates biases, prejudices, and both healthy and bad. Can be. So when you go with what we only know, I post a lot. I appreciate what Morg does as well. Well, whatever, when I see the videos that he makes and posts, everything I can tell and know, and the things I can look up to and study, or if I do or if I don't, exactly lines up to my thoughts. And no, I haven't been able to afford his books yet, and I'm glad I spend my time on what I do and things. So, but I think he's brilliant and onto something that is worthy of looking into, because, again, it takes our own individual training of how to hold concepts and know the difference between what we 100% know and what we are believing based on all the evidence is available to us. How else could you do things, really? So most people, to feel comfortable, when you're typically a scared person, or the God you're serving is a little brutal and demanding, and you have these built-in fear, then sometimes you get where you're not even comfortable. You have to apply I gotta know, here's my understanding before I can cope with a day or something. And we really have to learn that, obviously I spend a lot of time thinking on these things, and what do I come to? Well, nothing much. But here's the kicker. Something behind all these frequencies, something behind all the connectiveness of this universe and us. Man, we got the power of the sun that's doing things. I think it's the healer. I wore a hat over my head most of my life. That's probably was a mistake. We need a little sunshine each day to absorb into us. So I feel for the women that have to stay covered heads and this and that. And about went off track there. I'm trying to think where I left off. But yeah, where is it up now? I don't know. Lost my thought. I'm only human. And song hits my head though. Do 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 do. I want to fly like an eagle to the sea. Fly like an eagle, let my spirit carry me. How's the people living in the street? Shoe the children with no shoes on their feet. Whoa, there's a solution. Little shout out to Steve Miller Band, I believe. But anyways, in understanding in science, I listen to different science things, and it all collectively helps you build and know what you know, or what's known. And if you can lose that, it has to be like this for me to be comfortable. I was taught, my dad told me it is, and it goes down. But if you really can feel more at ease and actually take in knowledge and ponder it. So that's what I was getting at earlier. Can it all come back to me now? Anyways, all the things that are connected and all that's going on. You got powers from the moon, the sun, the gravity of this earth that you also can't see, but you feel it. You know that presence is here. We see the effects of it. So something's driving it all. There's something driving it all. And but still we know Jesus said that the kingdom of God is within us and outside of us. Now, as much as I can go inward, and that's what we have to do because our thoughts can shoot way out, and they need to do both. But as you go inward, and if you were to sit still for long enough, you'd probably start hearing your own thoughts. And why I say that, use this example. How many you're in school or something and you have to read silently? Well, there's a couple ways to do this. One, you could see the words and just boom into your brain. It's kind of like a quick reader. Not everyone can do that. And some can see different sizes at different points and just in your head. But more commonly, it was my way mostly, if I had to read silently, I'd hear myself read. I'd hear my voice in my head as I read it. Dick chased Jane. Whatever. Now, if you can do that and you hear yourself saying it silently in your head, who are you hearing? Me in my imagination, in my head. And I heard it so well that it was my voice. What if you heard your mom screaming at you, and it's in your head, and I recall that. I hear it just like it was now. Obviously, it's stored memories inside you. So the depths of our inner world are unknown. Who's all talking? Who's all saying it? Is it bothersome? Is it not? You in control? You understand it? It's really called thinking out loud, meditating. One cannot judge and say, I think it's a healthy mind when you can actually hear your own thoughts. All right, so then externally, in that condition, your external hearing just seems to be a little better anyhow. But when I start hearing things coming in or information starts boom, boom, making sense or coming into order, this also shows why when in the spiritual community they say, well, Spirit says this or that. Yeah, probably, maybe. I hear it even. Now, one can make fun of it, but I've been in church and I've sung the songs, and he walks with me and he talks with me. All right. So you guys pray and God, he answers in his own way later somehow. You got the prayer answer. And you criticize someone when they actually hear things. Yeah. Well, so there's so many songs on the whispering winds, and in the naked light I saw. So there's a lot I won't question. No, it's not scary to me. Yes, I can be satisfied with not knowing the answers to about everything. Only know what we know. Only know what we know. Anyhow, but these are the things that help me, and the same with, your ancestor said, okay. They say take what resonates. They're not like the churches where it truly is something, what's more do or die. It depends if where you're brought up and what church, but under the Bibles you're using, so. So yeah, I have felt a calling. I always felt a calling to help the world in some way, and part of that came through my religion and background. And we're all different. We all bring different gifts to the table of different things, and I can see or feel where many in the world are afraid of we can't just let everybody think they're free. You got to keep them trapped and enslaved. This is why we lied to them in the first place. Made up all this stuff. Anyways, I could hear them thinking, wow, there's no limits to what everybody would do. We'd all do what? Where's your mind at? What would we do if you're free? Huh? So, or what would the world look like? Is everybody going to want to be an entrepreneur, have their own little business? Let me say this and that. Maybe I'll make some, I don't know. Some might be have gifts that help people in that way. I mean, we got churches now that those who pop caps off and actually take in all the rest of the information. I mean, I'm wondering why they're all tax exempt businesses practically. Some of them are. Some of them have misused funds and whatnots. So, but anyways, and you have others who the world will see true knowledge becoming more abundant in this time of the end, as your prophet Daniel said in your book. And if you got, there's just sides of things. It's just amazing. It's an exciting time to be in. Glad I know what I know, even though I only know what I know. And so that helps me with getting along with almost all religions, including the Christianity one, until somebody, is so hypocritical or it really can harm people and limit their, leave them with some limitations. Trying to help the world in that way. But I mainly came on the scene with this because we cannot allow limited beliefs being part of running countries here and there. The biggest dictator was the God of the Old Testament. And if those who follow that kind of lead, let them have enough power, and we get to see what happens here. Speaking of that, I did watch the presidential debate, or vice presidential debate. And if I were giving out awards, I mean, the best actor award would go to J.D. Vance. Yeah, he might have took my advice. Who knows? And anyways, they're still lacked in honesty, and what we saw I think Tim Walz did better, but it's everyone's opinion. And in my opinion, I gravitate toward authenticity, merit, and sustenance in what is being said and how it's being said. So whatever vessel is authentic is going to be favored in my eyes over performance any day. And then it was so telling that rather than putting country first, rule of law first, rather than doing what's right, no matter what you believe, he made sure he made known his loyalty is to the one whom he serves, kissing the ring of his leader. Bow down before the one you serve, your God. Anyways, we'll see where it goes. And I don't know. I didn't even know what I was gonna mainly say on here, but so yeah, I have faith in what I know about myself. I have faith in the spirit that I feel. Religious spirit's the spirit of the world. Yeah, maybe. And maybe you were taught with a cap. Just maybe. And I still feel good. All right. So let's see if I got anything else before I close out. Appreciate all of you listening in if you did. But this is why I can hear many and I know how to apply it myself. That doesn't mean that who I'm hearing it from applies it just those ways. We're all learning. And those churches got paid buku money, and in the future there are other teachings that really need to have a second look at, and those who are, some are, perhaps scraping, yet they're teaching truths that help the world much better than some of the lies that we've been told. We have to admit that. If that irks you and bugs you, then that should be your spot to look into. Go inward, please, and go that route. And the reason why it's important, why are you telling us all this? Well, it doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things, but I have grandchildren, still can't see them, haven't heard from them, don't get to see them for years now. But that story ain't over. And speaking of that, I am gonna, only takes a blink of an eye and I could shut any of my songs right off of the world's connections if there's anybody hearing them. But my song number 2 will probably just blink out here soon, because it don't need to go forward. It served a purpose. And everyone can holler on everything. There's a credence level, and what if it's so tight? What if it's 52 this way, 48 the other, and the pros and cons of doing or saying something. You think you don't know those other ones, and they were good reasons, but that there's other reasons for why you did and why you didn't. I try to think as deep as I can, even though I've been born and raised a shallow person overall, with depth that was capped with what I was into. So life moves on. La, 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 life moves on. Anyways. So yeah, everyone that I've been learning from, and some I just like to enjoy watching. Spend your time doing whatever, and that's why It was enjoyable to watch The Voice. A lot going on in the world, but they made it fun, and they're having a good season. I look forward to the rest of it. And well, so you guys have the best days that you can, and hold your head up. Yeah. Anyways, have a good one.